Hello, and welcome to another episode of Legacy Gaming with Atari Man 71. I'm playing through my entire cartridge of Atari 2600 cartridges at the moment. I have over 400 games. I think it's around 430 now. I just can't stop buying them. I'm pretty close to filling out what I think is a pretty complete collection. I'm missing a few games, but um, I've gotten rid of a lot of the easy games, but there's a lot more to go. um, but I'm playing through my Atari 2600 games right now. When I complete that, I'm going to move on to ColecoVision or Intellivision. I also have an Odyssey 2. Then I have an Atari 5200, an Atari 7800, an Atari XE gaming system, Nintendo Entertainment System, Sega, Super Nintendo. I have a lot of consoles. And so I'm gonna play through them one by one. I'm gonna play through a few games every night if I can, and then put the recordings out on YouTube. So hope you enjoy them. If you do enjoy them, please subscribe to my channel. Please follow me on Twitch. I'm AtariMan71 on Twitch. Please follow me on Twitter. I'm AtariMan71 on Twitter. I put a lot of content up on Twitter. And on my stream, I maybe go over a little more information. I go over the instructions for the game. But because I don't own that content, I don't put it out there. It's I just basically want to keep it. I took all the pictures here except for the Atari logo, so just keep it under my control so that I don't have any strikes against me. Tonight I have three new games. I have Phoenix, I have E.T, and I have Ms. Pac-Man. And so I will get into a little information about Phoenix first. I'm playing that first. So, Phoenix is cartridge number CX2673. It was released in 1982. It uses a joystick controller, and I personally think it's a pretty fun game. It's challenging. My cousin had it, so I played it a little bit when I was a kid. The gameplay is similar to Galaxian, maybe a little bit like Demon Attack, maybe a little bit like Galaga. You know, all those invading space monster things, but not Space Invaders. Space Invaders is different. I like that this has shields. You can pull back on your joystick to deploy your shields. Also, it's possible to wound the phoenixes, and I think the third stage you can shoot off a wing, and then you can shoot off a second wing, but then they regenerate. Um, and then the final round is against a mothership. There's basically a mothership, and you can I'm sorry. You shoot through the bottom bit of the spaceship, which is orange, and then there's a section that rotates around the ship that you have to shoot a hole before you can shoot the alien. So it's pretty challenging. All the while it's shooting at you and things like that. And then if you get through the mothership, you just basically face it all over again at a higher speed. Um, the arcade version graphically is significantly better, but that's to be expected. Um, with the Atari 2600, it didn't have much graphic capability. Um, but it is a decent port of the game. It's not quite the same, but it was a decent port over from an arcade game. So VGR ratings for this game, the graphics were rated as a 3, which is decent, and the playability is 3, which is worth playing. Okay, so that was the instructions, and to play this game, I'm using my Wiko command controller again tonight. We'll try out the feature where we turn the sound off. I think it was the right difficulty. Let me look back at that just a moment. The left difficulty switch. Sorry about that. So there's no easy game with this game. There's no easy version, a children's version. So I'm just gonna play it. I'll tell you this: I'm not that good. So we'll see how I do. Please forgive me if I'm terrible, though. So there's my Phoenix cartridge. Okay, static off. You know, I get so accustomed to having static on a TV, I just don't realize it. So this is Phoenix. You can launch the game by pushing the button, so we'll go ahead and do that. Well, actually, I'll do that, and then we'll mess around with the background music. Oh, maybe that's after you die. Okay, so that's the noise that I think you can eliminate. Yeah, so you can turn that off, but the shooting is still there, and I kind of like it that way. It's less distracting, but you don't. Oh, that was my bad. Oh, they reset the positions. So this is the wave where you can shoot their wings off. But you see, I've shot the wings off of that one, and they just grew back. So you have to hit them in the middle to kill them. Boy, the one's low down. Oh no, I died. And the instruction says that music is specifically to distract you. So when you pull the shields back, you can't move. I just tested that. That was the shields. Ooh, that was close. This is actually considerably easier. I should have pulled my shields. Considerably easier than Space Invaders, just because of the fact that, well, I think if I played that music, just shooting off wings left and right. Ugh. I think. Okay, just a moment. Nobody's in, so I check my text message. Oh, that's Twitch. So I'm going to try one now with the music, or the noise turned back on. There's the mothership, like I explained during the introduction. You can kind of see the alien in there. I don't know if it translates better to the stream, but you know, because it's the colors adjust a little bit when you're not in the game. Ah! Got lucky there. Use my shields properly. That's nice. Eliminated a whole side now. Oh, you can still shoot. Oh, I pulled back. I thought I pulled back. Doing a lot better. Oh, I think it's too soon. You can only use a shield so often. It's not all the time. Okay, so now, oh, it's wave 5 is the, I guess you can improve your points by using shields, because you getting points every time you shoot a wing off. I'm not doing it intentionally. Ugh. Gonna get to that mothership. Oh no! One life left. Thank goodness. Ooh, free life. Oh yeah. Ugh. Ugh. So that's the mothership. I don't know how much effort. I'll play one more. I'll play one more game, but it's not quick to get to. These first levels are just really kind of practice. I mean, woo, that was close. Dang it. Oh, I didn't even see that bullet. If the object of the game was to shoot off wings, I'd be great at it. Oh, I ran into it. I don't know if I'll have enough life. Oh, come on. I got lucky. Gave me a free life for clearing that stage. Oh, and I wasted it. Anyway, that's Phoenix. It's pretty fun. It's pretty interesting. Um, you know, I wouldn't say it's in my top games to play, but it's not the worst. It's not the worst. So the next game I have on my list is Infamous. And it is I don't know if it plays this theme song forever. All right, so I'm going to mute it because it's kind of obnoxious. So I'll share some information with you. E.T is cartridge number CX2674. It was released Christmas of 1982. I know that because that was what I wanted for a Christmas gift that year. I desperately wanted E.T. It uses a joystick controller. And honestly, I think I'm one of the few kids that like the game E.T. I think there were a few reasons for this, though. First of which, the hype around E.T. In general, it was crazy. I mean, you had to see the movie. I mean, you just had to see it. You had to buy the toys, and you had to eat. There was E.T. cereal. So it was crazy. I mean, it was just phenomenal. And the thing was, I hadn't seen the movie before I got the game. My parents didn't take us to the movies a lot. So, so I didn't know that the game differed from the movie that much. And then Also, it's a game where you need to read the instructions because it's kind of like a puzzle, and you need to understand how to play because it's not like the movie and it's different than anything that you've seen. So, like E.T. levitating, he didn't levitate himself in the movie, he levitated other things. But in the game, he levitates himself to get out of holes, and you know, it's not something that's intuitive because you push the button and his head goes up and down, which that happened a few times, but when you hold the button in, then he can levitate, and so it's one of those things. Um, and it's basically you trying to solve a puzzle, and there's things working against you. And I know it was a huge disappointment to many people, a lot of kids, but it was one of my favorite childhood memories because I didn't get a lot of gifts that year because I asked for ET, and it was an expensive game. I think it was $50, and that was a lot of money back then. But my parents said, "Well, if you get ET, you're not going to get much else," because I have three brothers, and it it was one of those things that I just really wanted to have it, and my parents came through and they got it for me, and that was one of the things that I wanted. It's like we didn't have all the great games, we didn't have Pitfalls, we didn't have a lot of Activision games, but I wanted ET, and that was all I wanted, and that I wouldn't stop until that was what I got, and they got it for me. And so it's a good memory, even though the game really wasn't that challenging to me and it really wasn't that difficult. It really wasn't that fun because there's really not that much to do in it. Um, it's decent. To me it's decent. And, it'd be interesting if somebody remade a version of ET that was a different game that maybe would have been a game that, I mean, people say that ET killed Atari, and I mean it was partly to blame. I mean there were the Atari, the 2600 market was flooded with games, and a lot of them bad. And then Atari put out ET, which was also bad, and then it soured a lot of people. A lot of parents returned this game, and kids were crying, and it was crazy because kids really, I don't know how to explain it, but they loved ET. I mean, and it kind of spoiled the memory of ET in a way. It's unfortunate, but the movie is still great. If you haven't seen it, I'd recommend seeing it, especially if you're 10 or 11-year-old boy and can identify with the main character Elliot. Um, but in the game, you basically collect various parts to make your phone, and then you phone home and wait for a spaceship. There's a timer, and you can collect Reese's Pieces in the game. You can choose to either eat them or give them to Elliot. If you give them to Elliot at the end of the game, you get a bonus. So there's a bonus that you get for all the um, Reese's Pieces that you give to Elliot, and you can call Elliot. So in the screen, there's little markers to tell you there's a piece to the left, there's a piece to the right. If you get a question mark, you can raise your head, and it'll tell you if there's a piece on the screen you're on. It'll flash a little blip, and you can fall in that hole and grab your piece and jump back out. And in the holes, there's mud. You can sink into the mud, and you gotta bounce your head a couple times to get out of it, but it's not the end of the world. If you run out of energy, you start out with 99.99 energy. If you run out of energy, ET dies. And so I'll show you that. I think it's pretty easy to kill him. You can just levitate and it burns off energy real fast. So with that, VGR ratings for this game, the graphics is 3 for decent, and playability is 2 for dry, brief enjoyment. And as much as I have fond memories of this game in my childhood, I would tend to agree with that. Okay, so we're back. So I'm going to play game 3 first, just to give you a breakdown. And maybe I'll go back and play game 1, which is the hard one. But game 3 is the easiest one. Only Elliot's in the game, and so you don't have to deal with the FBI agent or the scientist, taking you places. You can get to areas where you can get rid of them, but mostly you know, they're a problem. So, are we going to take any bets here to see if E.T. is still playing that horrid theme song? I think it probably is. Let's see. Take it off mute. There it is. So I'm going to select game 3. Game 3. There we are in our spaceship. So there is no danger in this game. So I'm going to... That's... Sounds like the football. And E.T. looks like he's got genitalia. So those are the holes. These blips. So here's a question mark. So a question mark basically is an inquiry to ask this screen, is there any pieces in there? And there was in that bottom left thing. So first I'll grab my Reese's Piece, and then I'll fall in the hole. And I'm going to do something I've not seen people do, which as a kid I did it all the time. When you fall in, you levitate to minimize the amount of damage to your energy. So see if I can pull that off. So then you just land on the ground easily. And there's my first piece of my phone. So then to get out, and you remember what kind of hole it was, and it takes you out where you went in, usually. So now there's another Reese's Piece. So here, with the circle with the dot, I can eat them to raise my energy. But I'm not going to do that because you get a bonus at the end. The Reese's Pieces you carry on the ship are worth like 700 points. I don't remember what it is. But the ones that you give to Elliot are worth a lot of points. And there's a picture to call Elliot. Yeah, this is calling Elliot. So you see I have 2 Reese's Pieces. So I'm going to call him. Here he comes. He's going to take the Reese's Pieces. And if you get over 31 Reese's Pieces, there's a big bonus paid out. So that says, that'll move me, that'll teleport me 1 screen over. But if 1 screen over in this spot is a hole, you fall right down in the hole. So I don't use those teleports that much. Basically, it's in an emergency you use them. So we'll see if there's a question mark anywhere. There's a call Elliot, but I just have 1 Reese's Piece, so I'm not going to bother with that. There's eat Reese's Pieces. Teleport. And every time you raise your head, there we go. It costs some energy. So in this hole right here. That's, I think, the record player. And I'd be interested to find out if levitating in the hole uses less energy than just falling. So there's the first 2 pieces. It forms an E. Imagine that. So now I'm levitating up. Oh, and I fell back in the hole. So I can actually watch the recording. Oh, there I sunk in the mud. I'm doing terrible here. Probably going to have to eat some Reese's Pieces. And that was the reason a lot of people hated this game. You could fall in those holes so easily. And his walking sounds seriously comical. No dots. You can also run if you hold the button in while you're moving E.T. Ooh, I fell way in the mud there. I forgot about this map. So this symbol here that looks like, I don't know, columns. If there's a scientist or an FBI agent, it'll send them away. It'll make them go away. See, I should have just levitated out after I fell. Okay, and this one. And that's the speak and spell. At least that's what we always said it was. So now you see how the phone looks like an E.T. kind of. It also looks like an old style telephone. So there's the Elliot's house. And then these are one is the FBI and one is the scientist's headquarters. So this is running. So you move pretty quick when you run. Oh, that was... Okay. So this, I forgot about this. So this is a flower. And you know in the movie there was a flower, and when E.T. came back to life, it came back to life. So if you just come by the flower and you raise your head, it brings the flower back to life. Oh, how sweet is E.T.? And you can't levitate at that point. And so that was in this screen, which, ooh, that was close. So I have all the pieces to the phone. Whoa, he didn't pick that up. I guess you don't pick up Reese's Pieces. Oh, maybe you can only hold 9. So if you're keeping track, I think I've given him 11 so far. And like I said, 31 is where the bonus points start to kick in. Oh, no. That's the thing about falling is you got to be careful. It takes a lot of energy. Ooh, that was close. I'm just trying to gather up Reese's Pieces at this point. Oh, no. I was just trying to run. Huh. Maybe it knows what I'm trying to do. There was a Eat Reese's Pieces around here somewhere. That was called Elliot. So what is that? 14? So I think I'm going to have to die, folks, to get enough Reese's Pieces to get this bonus in. Because it doesn't seem to be giving me any more Reese's Pieces. So the real trick to doing these and not falling back, this is part of the reason people were frustrated. It's when it switches to C. Ooh, there's one. So I'm going to let Elliot take it. Because you want to see when he dies, and then also I want to see if I get more Reese's Pieces available. So I've given him 15 at this point. thought you could walk part way off the screen. I'm in danger territory. I think down was always this, and up was always the forest. Yeah. And I think when you ran, shit. Dangerous. So I'm going to die here. So I'm going to try to get out of this hole. But I think it takes more than 83. Yeah. Okay. And that's all that happens. So I gave 15 pellets, but I don't see Reese's Pieces, but I don't see any more. And maybe because it's the easy game. No, wait, this is where I want to be. So there's a thing in here that looks like a frog. That. I don't know. I always said it looked like a frog. That's how you call the mothership. And so you go there. And so you get this timer. There's two timers. There's this one. And then there's... Just going to see if I can get any Reese's Pieces. And so now you got to look around here for the landing site. No! Oh, I might die. There. Just in the nick of time. And so now I had 3 points. And this is where it's going to count the bonus. So 12,000. So it makes sense to give Reese's Pieces. I think in the harder games, you're probably eligible to get a lot more Reese's Pieces because you're burning through a lot more energy. In this version, this is how I learned how to play it. You know, it is harder with the scientist and the FBI agent because the scientist takes you back to the lab all the time. That's not such a big deal. The FBI agent takes your pieces of your phone away from you, and so it's a race to build the pieces of the phone. You know, the FBI agent doesn't do anything to you if you don't have any pieces of the phone. So first, my strategy would be find the pieces of the phone, and then find where to call, find the landing point, and then go and build the phone, and then call, and then get out of the game. You know, the scientist takes you back to the lab, and it's not the end of the world because, you know, you're just there by E.T.'s house. But you can quickly get to the other stages of the game. So I don't think it's such a horrible game. I don't think it brought down Atari on its own. I think the fact that there were a lot of other games out there that weren't really up to snuff really did Atari in, and the gaming industry. So my last game for today is Ms. Pac-Man. Considerably different than Pac-Man, but not much. It's similar, but different. So I'll go over my information for this. So Ms. Pac-Man is cartridge number CX2675. It was released in 1982, and it uses a joystick controller. Most of my experience with Ms. Pac-Man is not with the 2600. I played it as a kid, but mostly in an arcade. My friend had it for the 5200, and we played it occasionally, but he didn't really want to share his 5200 with everyone because even back then, they had a reputation that the controllers broke all the time. And so he didn't let a lot of people touch it. That being said, the fact that I played it at the arcade does not mean I'm good at it. I'm really not very good because you got to remember I was like 11 or 12 years old, maybe 13 at the oldest when I was going to arcades, and you know, you really can't build up skills. And I really haven't played these games in a while, so anything I learned 20 years ago when I first started collecting, it's all out the window. Um, so the difference is, I put in here, Ms. Pac-Man did deliver on the Pac family gaming experience because there's Ms. Pac-Man, Pac-Man, and Pac-Man Jr., Junior Pac-Man. I can't remember which one it was called. But she turns in the direction that she's moving, which Pac-Man didn't do. Um, there are different fruits that move through the maze, as you play, and they move through the maze. It's just not this block in the middle of the screen that you need to go through. And then, and the maze changes, and the sounds are a little better. They're not the arcade sounds, but they're better than the sounds with Pac-Man. If you go back and watch my Pac-Man, that is just horrible sounding. And it was kind of a hit for the 2600 in 1982, because Pac-Man was just so terrible. So VGR ratings on this game, the graphics were rated 4 as good, and the playability is 5 for irresistible. Okay, so I'm going to play the one teddy bear version since I haven't played it in so long. It's only one ghost in the game when you do that. So maybe I'll go further and maybe we'll see some of the screens changing and stuff. Like I said, I'm not that good at Pac-Man, and I never really have been. I enjoyed playing it, the sounds and everything. This full version where there's the fruit and all the ghosts, that's great. But Pac-Man is a game where you have to recognize patterns and the ghosts, and there's just too much going on for my little brain to comprehend, I guess. Um, if we watch here, you'll see the animation that Pac-Man, Ms. Pac-Man, does. I don't know why she didn't eat the cherry there. So the cherries are bonuses. Wow, she chased after Inky. So the ghost's name, I don't know if you know this, it's Inky, Blinky, Pinky, and Clyde. Um, I know that because I watched the Pac-Man cartoon when I was a kid. Um, Pac-Man was crazy, E.T. was crazy. I mean, there were some crazy things. This is a nice little thing. It's got a little animation here. The arcade games did that. It was at least something a little more similar to the arcade than the first Pac-Man game. I mean, that thing was just terrible. So I will select through. There's one teddy bear, so one ghost. Think I'll do okay on this level, but we'll see. And so, like I said, it's not exactly the same as the arcade, but it's a lot better. There's the cherries. Hmm. Taking a risk there. Going by the ghost. Okay, so there's these here. Ugh. He's chasing after me. So I'm going to clear this screen, obviously. I'm just clear it. I'm not that good. You can see that. I don't know any patterns or anything like that, but I'm tempted. That's the strawberry. You see how the strawberry kind of flashed when I went by it? That's problems with the hardware. They can't display that many items. I almost want to change joysticks for this because I don't need the button at all. Oh, maybe I took too long? I don't know what happened there. Wasn't paying attention. Maybe the ghost was there? I don't know. So new level. $11,000. That's a pretty high score for me, but obviously it's playing it on the preschooler level. Pretzel. Duh. Different again. So it's really not boring like Pac-Man from the standpoint. What the heck is that? Peach? Apple, maybe? Oh no! I wasn't paying attention to the ghost because I felt invincible. Oh no! I'm just losing lives left and right. He's going that way. I'm going to go this way. Okay. Pair. Aw, that was bogus. That was lucky. Because I can't. Like I said, this joystick is so long. The short throw of that other joystick was pretty nice. Okay. Banana. Wow, that just ends in an instant. Not even going to try to get the ghosts anymore. I'm just glad there's only one. What is that? You know, in the arcade game, they put them on the bottom, and maybe in the other versions of this game, they do that, but this one teddy bear, one ghost thing, I guess you don't earn any bonuses for getting all the... The only one nice thing that the power pellets do is they make the ghosts go away. Oh, that's it. 42,210 on the easiest level. Probably most people would be playing it all day. Um, you know, my hands are really not in the best of shape, so anyway, that's my gaming for the evening. It's 8 o'clock now, so I'm going to call it a night. As always, be healthy, stay safe, wash your hands and social distance. If you enjoy my videos, please like, please subscribe, please follow me on Twitter, please follow me on Twitch, and hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.